It's exhilarating.
There's a buzz and an energy. Everything kind of vibrates.
A long time ago, the Iowa State Fair crossed that line from being an event to being part of life.
It's the biggest arena to show on in Iowa. You've got the biggest bull, you've got your big boar, you've got your big ram.
There's so much to see here. You can't do it in 1 or 2 days.
And I'm gonna make a mess.
It's our home away from home. This is where we are in the summer.
Iowa's a great state fair. No, I won't miss any unless I absolutely have to.
Since 1927, Kent Feeds has been dedicated to commercial producers, farming communities, and animal lovers. A family-owned American company, we strive every day to enrich the lives of those who raise and care for animals. Learn more at kentfeeds.com.
You're in this 120-year-old building plus. The building is brick, unair conditioned, so it's very warm and humid. If you were to walk down the hallway leading up to the back door of the butter cooler, you would already get a sense of the smell, which is like maybe a little bit of aged cheese. Some of us are more sensitive than others. I'm pretty used to it.
It is 42 degrees in the cooler. Oh, it's pretty cold, but on a warm day like this, it takes a little while before it starts to affect you. It feels good at first.
All right. And there's a little room outside of the cooler door that is air conditioned to 60 degrees, and that helps temper the butter to just the right temperature. It ends up being very much like clay. Salted butter. The last time I remember getting all new butter was in 2005. There's a huge difference between old butter and new butter. So if you have really good old butter that's like really perfect, it is smooth, greasy, but you don't notice that at first. It's silky almost. Sometimes when I'm baking, I'll be making pie crust and then I'll just rub it into my hands and I'll realize, oh, I think I was supposed to wash my, I'm not sculpting, I need to wash my hands. I'm oftentimes thinking about the skeletal first, like where the ribs are and where the shoulder is, and then muscles and then tissue and then detail. So it's like almost like building it. You start with the skeleton and you build it up. There's no perfect dairy cow. You're gonna have the one that has the amazing udder, but maybe its back sags a little bit. So even if it's not the perfect, it's probably more realistic, in fact.
What do you mean? You're never going straight up it like that, like an elevator.
Well, you kind of do because you load on the ground.
Yeah, but you're not going vertical like an elevator goes directly up and down.
No.
You're more like an escalator, kind of at an angle.
Yeah.
But
That's true.
I got you now.
That's true. I did not
same
preface
page.
that. The theme for this year's fair is Fair Fever. One of the little taglines was something like, catch the fever, the only cure is thrill rides, favorite fair foods, and entertainment. And so we were like, how can we tie into that? Well, the Sky Glider's celebrating 50 years. The platform is approximately 3 feet off the ground. The window, the viewing window is 5 feet. So today, what we'll decide is, do we have the Skyglide hanging really low to the ground? And the ground becomes not the ground? Do we paint the ceiling blue? Or the floor? No, don't paint the ceiling?
Don't pay this.
We're like, okay, that's great, but who's gonna ride in the Skyglider? The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon and Steve Higgins, we're celebrating 10 years. And Steve Higgins has been on our list for the last 10 years just for that reason, because he grew up in Iowa. It was like, aha, this is the perfect thing. They love fun. They are all about whimsy. They are the perfect duo to be in the Sky Glider. Good? Yeah, I think so. One of the things that I have found in my own artistic process is to be fully immersed in whatever it is I'm sculpting. That's what you would do? You'd lean on it? Would you wave at people? Probably be looking down, right? And so we started out by coming to the fairgrounds and literally walking around the Sky Glider.
I like the yellow ones. I feel like we should sculpt the yellow one.
Oh! We could sit in one, like sitting at the same time before your knees get knocked out. And then you're like, whoa, that moment right there. But your feet have to touch the ground. Keep your feet on the ground. You sit down. Sketching, trying to brainstorm. If we had no parameters, what would this look like? And then scaling it back. Our 3D models aren't going to be to scale this first time. Perhaps we just take whatever medium you want to use. Like, Hannah, if you want to use the clay, and we're just going to work on designing in kind of a 3D format. We start to make scale models. We use pipe cleaners and foam core board and paper, and then you have to make it a reality. So then ideas become, okay, the cooler has parameters and that sort of thing. So then we start to take our big dreams and scale it to what is possible. Butter sculpture is very whimsical, right? What I love about it is it's unexpected. But I also love really diving into what I'm going to sculpt and immersing myself in it and taking it very seriously, but not too seriously.
This is Bunny. I just started working with her and walking her, and they're just fun to do stuff with and play with.
We live in Muscatine, Iowa, been here our whole lives. We work at a pig farm. It's a farrow to finish unit, so we've got sows and we've got finishing pigs. Then we also have a little bit of a goat herd on the side, and then some oddball animals too.
Jump. Hank is 2 years old, 2, 3 years old. He likes to try to nip at you and eat your shirt.
This year we will be exhibiting what we hope is the biggest boar of Iowa. And then we will have 2 4-H market hogs out there also.
Hey, piggies.
Which will be Jack's first year showing at the state fair.
Come on, guys. Out. I'm gonna give them a bath.
You know, in our line of work, we've been able to bring our kids with us, I don't know, since they're old enough to walk. Maybe before they could walk, they've been coming to work with us at times.
You gotta wake up early. It's a dirty job. I walk them, feed them.
The kids have been lucky enough to be able to go in and help wean pigs, breed sows, farrow pigs. I don't think there's a task on the farm that either one of them haven't really done.
This one is Hammy. He's a Tamworth.
Jack was breeding pigs as soon as he could walk, even going to kindergarten explaining to the teacher and all the kids how you AI sows.
Yeah. Come on.
He's pretty willing to jump in and to help anywhere that needs some help. He really likes to drive a skid loader or any motorized vehicle. He also enjoys going up to my dad's house and playing with the cows and putting hay out and being Grandpa's little assistant up there.
Over here is Big Joe and most of the chickens. I can't go in there because he gets a little crazy. My dad's going in there to get him up.
I think we got Big Joe in about 2019. We were buying gilts from a genetic supplier, and we needed some boars also. So Joe grew up as a teaser boar running in front of sows as we were AIing.
Joe, let's go. Wake up.
Then usually when a boar gets too big for his crate or he's getting too old or too cranky, you just get rid of them. They go on the coal truck. But Joe always had a good temperament. It was always nice to be around. When he got too big for his crate, he just went down to live in the GDU with all the incoming gilts and put him on a self-feeder, and he just kept getting bigger and bigger. And we decided, hey, why don't we just try to get him even bigger and take him to State Fair?
As we mentioned earlier, we only have 2 boars this year.
I definitely got teary-eyed several times during the contest last year. It's so exciting. It's just so surreal that you get to be there and you get to do this and you get to be part of this.
Big Joe has been showing by 10-year-old Jack. Raise your hand, Jack.
Once we got in the ring, me and Jack walked him all the way up to the scale and stuff.
It's pretty neat to see all the people that turn out. It's always standing room only around there.
Pounds, Cal. Let's call it 894 pounds.
He eats a lot of food. His grocery bill is rather high. We've asked most of our family and friends to go through their cupboards and get all the expired food out. From there, he gets eggs. He loves eggs. Like the sight of an egg makes him excited.
How many? 2? 3? 4? Crack it in his mouth. That's what Grandpa does.
What's that?
Lard, cake mixes. Jack likes to dump like Pepsi or root beer in there. Mayonnaise, he likes mayonnaise a lot.
Everything you're told not to eat is what we're feeding Joe.
He likes doing what he's doing right now, sticking his whole nose into water and making waves.
Right now, it's just kind of the calm and the cool before the storm. And the week before, it'll get a little bit more real.
At least 11 days, yes.
All right, it's 11 o'clock, and I think we'll call this meeting to order.
Curtis Clays.
Here.
Darwin Gaudian.
Here.
I'm here. Joe Reynolds. I have two roles at the Iowa State Fair. Obviously, the title is CEO, General Manager. If you dig into Iowa code, technically I'm Secretary of the Iowa State Fair Board, but really I think I have 2 jobs. One is a caretaker. I'm the 13th Secretary of the Iowa State Fair Board. That means there were lots of people before me, and there are gonna be lots of people after me. My job is to take care of the fair for this time period that I'm here, leave it better than I found it, so then I can hand it off to the next person. I think one thing that we're really trying to promote this year is the fact that admission to the fair remained the same as in 2023. My second role, really, especially during the fair itself, I view myself as a supporter and encourager. We've got 70 full-time staff. We supplement them with 1,600 fair time people. And my job is to really make sure they know that they're appreciated and do whatever I can to give them the resources to be successful in their jobs. Because if they're really good and successful at their jobs, that means the fairgoer has had an incredible experience, and that's really why we're here.
If nothing else, I'll have a motion to adjourn. All in favor say aye. Aye. Meeting adjourned.
Hello. Good afternoon. Hello, everybody. In case you didn't know, we have a fair starting in less than a month. Some of you look excited and some of you look terrified. We're going to do 2 things today. We're going to talk about new things at this year's fair, and then we're going to talk about ways we want you to be contagious, how we want you to spread the fair fever. The Iowa State Fair, when you look at our mission statement, ultimately it's a celebration of all the very best things of Iowa. We want to make sure we're a place that people want to be, and I think one of the ways we become that place, of the place where people want to be, is that they have a good experience while they're here. The fair is not a prison. What that means is none of them are required to be here. Every single fairgoer made a choice to come to the Iowa State Fair. It's not a requirement. In all reality, we could open the fair on August 8th and no one could show up. It is not guaranteed. The accounting department just fainted. We have to be a place that every Iowan feels like they are welcome. We have to be that place. That's our job. We hope, though, that when people come, that they're able to see, again, those kids excelling at the highest level. They're able to see their neighbors showing off some skill that you had no idea, or forget about everything during a grandstand concert. You know, we hope we provide those experiences, but yet still provide that commonplace, and we hope that's what the fair provides. Thank you for your time, and we will see you, well, we'll see you around. So, see you at the fair.
We'll get in, we'll make a plan once we're in there, and then I might come out and get a few more supplies. Sound good? All right. The best part is working with my family. And that is really, for a lot of people, their fair experience too, right? They come with their family, whether they're camping or they're coming to see projects. I feel like that, I get to do that too.
Growing up, it never crossed my mind that it was strange or weird, because Mom was doing it before we were born. So my entire life, it's always been, yeah, my mom in the summer
every mom
sculpts
does this.
the butter cow.
Lights, butter, action. All right, so you're gonna work on Jimmy's face. Do we need to take the tiny hats off? From a young age, they were very interested in digging their hands in. They've always been artistic and interested in creative pursuits, for sure. There have been times where they wish they didn't have to come when they were maybe 9 years old and they wanted to go swimming, and they didn't want to come and chase their brother around, but they've always been interested in the art process of it.
We officially became apprentices at 14, but we were helping a little bit before that too, with washing buckets or odd jobs. Finding tools, picking out mold. Now we kind of have our own roles in what we work on. I have tended to do more of the face and head, and sometimes I'll do hands. And I'll take care of most of the, if not all of the clothing that goes on there, because I'm studying costume design at UNI. So working with the fabrics there and learning how they would drape on a person helps me know this is where a crease or a wrinkle would be in the fabric. I'm a studio art major with an emphasis in sculpture, very much influenced by the sculpting that I started to do here.
We are fully collaborative, so their ideas and mine are meshing together, and I am completely energized in a collaborative setting, so it is so delightful to have those thought partners as we're wrestling through what is it going to look like. They are teaching me what they know, I'm teaching them what I know.
We like to mess with Mom a little bit while we're in there too.
Wait, it's too early in the day to have butter in your hair.
The past few years, we've taken to making these little top hats in the butter, and then we'll, without her noticing, we try and put them on the heads of all of the people and characters that we're sculpting. And then she'll turn around and everybody will have a hat on, and she'll be like, oh, what is happening? There's always an air of playfulness going on behind the scenes.
You were! I was not! It was already there! It was already there, right? It was. My action was unprompted.
Oh my goodness.
Each one of these stands have a different name. This one is Little Train. This one is Slide. This one is Bird's Nest. And then my other one's over there, that's Double Bacon Corn Dog in front of the grandstand. The tenderloin stand there is on Rock Island. And we know exactly where they go to the foot, pretty much. So I've been doing it since I was born. My birthday is on August 10th. I was 4 days old when I was here So the fair was a little different dates back then, but I was in a hot dog sticking semi at 4 days old. So I've pretty much been out here my whole life, I guess. I started in the cafe at 9 years old, bussing tables. And I probably worked here for 2 to 3 years. And then I moved to, I think, the hot dog sticking room, and then I went to a stand by the time I was 13, 14.
Is he working or hardly working?
Yes.
Campbell's Concession basically started in the 1920s. It was Little's Concessions back when my great-grandparents, Katie and Phil Little. If you're related to us, you work. There's not a lot of option. Even if you don't think you want to work, you're still working. We're gonna make you work, one way or another. We'll find a spot for you. All three of my sons, they've only known this. They've been working since they're little. They've lived out here. Nobody gets to just skip over one job just because they're related to Eric Campbell or whatever. You're gonna change grease just like everybody else. You're gonna set the stands up. You're gonna put your sleeves and roll them up just like everybody else. Working with your family, and you normally don't get that time with them. Now, do we call it quality time a lot of times? I don't know. They laugh about it. Working with my mom my whole life, my dad. I saw him every day. This is my first setup. You know, I didn't see him driving on a golf cart. He passed away this fall. Those are the strange sequences.
What are you gonna do with the green chair?
Just staying right there because that's where your dad sat every time.
I just asked.
That's your dad's chair.
He didn't like anybody sitting in his chair, so they had to make a sign for him.
I'll still probably be here even if I even make it to 80 years old, but I'll be in here in some aspect. All I'm doing is just showing and trying to give my kids all the tools that they need to run an accessible business down the road. Sometimes people ask me, like, "Oh, you don't seem very excited." I'm like, yeah, I'm excited. This is my 51st or 51 fair. I mean, 51 years old. It's a lot of fairs.
Does it start tomorrow?
Couple hours, bro.
6:09, you're not dreaming. 68 degrees under partly cloudy skies at the Iowa State Fairgrounds. Thursday, August 8th. It is time, my friends. It's day one. Good morning to you.
First thing Thursday morning, it's always beautiful. Hearing livestock, hearing kind of people move in, just kind of that quiet hum before the fair gets started.
It's kind of like Christmas morning, like so much anticipation. Yeah, at the same time, not really knowing what's gonna happen. Like that's kind of.
You know, when you think about an 11-day event that literally takes 12 to 15 months, 12 to 18 months to plan, I don't think people always understand that.
Hey, Tony. Happy fair. Same to you.
It really takes everybody at all times, and there's ebbs and flows. You know, you think back to our full-time staff of 70. For some of them, really, the fair, for lack of better words, is a relatively quiet time because all their work was done several months ago. You know, you think back to our vendor team who deals with our concessionaires and commercial exhibits. Well, they started in January, that process of booking those vendors. Of course, constantly making all of this happen is our maintenance department.
Talk to Charlie.
I mean, if it was not for the maintenance department, we would not have a fair.
Lots of great comments on those pots. This turned out really nice.
If you're a livestock exhibitor, somebody put all those wood shavings in the barn, somebody got those arenas ready, and that's our amazing crew that works year-round to really make the fair happen, but really make our 400-acre property shine throughout the year.
Well, I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free, and I won't forget the men who died that gave this right to me, and I'll gladly stand up next to you and think of them today. Well, there's nowhere on earth I'd rather be than the fair in Des Moines, Iowa. Thank you very much.
Well, good morning, everyone. It's an honor to stand before you at my second fair as CEO of the Iowa State Fair. And this fair was constructed with you, the fairgoer, in mind. We spend all year a lot of like blood, sweat, and tears, literally getting the fair ready. And then to think about the fact that somebody's going to come to the fair with their family, and they're going to create some memory that's going to last forever. And I had a part in that. I think that's really the coolest part. Our world needs a lot more places where families can come together and do something together. And that's what really makes the fair unique is no matter your age, your demographic, or no matter who your family group is you're coming with, you're gonna find something here that's going to interest everyone.
I officially declare the 2024 Iowa State Fair open for fun!
Yay! And so the fact that the fair can be one of those places that families can come together is definitely pretty cool.
Ready for another year.
Yeah. Here's my youngest. How are you?
Good.
You woke up early this morning?
Yes. Very early.
Yes. Have you had any fair food yet?
No. We want to.
None yet?
I'm trying to.
I'm gonna get a corn dog with mustard. Give me those. It's a tradition I had in Spencer, and I try to have a corn dog by 9 a.m. that first morning of the fair. That's my official fair start. And I'm gonna make a mess.
And you can tell from the top of the hill by Grandfather's farm when you come down, it's kind of like the sunrise, and you just get to see what's coming in. It kind of gives me a feel, and I can pretty much tell by the top of the hill what day we're gonna have.
So my pavilion here is where everybody will start checking in. Good morning, Tony. Morning. Good morning, Tracy. How are you today?
I'm doing good. How are you doing? Saturday morning.
It's going to be a busy day.
The stands basically have to be open by 8 to 9 o'clock. The contract's not until 10, but people want a corn dog for breakfast. So we try to hit the cattle area first, so that cattle barn corn dog opens at 8 o'clock, 8:30. Then the park area opens at 8:30. Then Grand Avenue, when the sun comes up and it's slower out there, that one might straggle in at 9:30. And then we're up until midnight, the fair closes, majority of the people. Then I have a night crew that's cleaning the floors of the depot, and then we have our grease guys, and that takes an all-night process. Once we get through the first weekend, that's the challenge. We get through the first weekend without too many curveballs, too many incidents, situations. We know when we hit Monday, we're almost there.
Pull up as far as you can.
We're doing the 4-H check-in. Pigs could start coming in at 2 o'clock this morning. They've got to 10 a.m. this morning to be here. We're going to put 1,600 pigs in the barn here in the next, well, overnight or in 8 hours. We're going to try and put 1,600 pigs in the barn.
It takes us 2 to 2.5 hours to get out there. So normally when we go, we kind of make it a 2-day trip minimum.
Hey, bub. What are you doing? You making new friends?
The people that our pigs are riding out with this year, they like to go out in the middle of the night just purely for the fairgrounds traffic because there's virtually zero. And fairground traffic is so much worse than the rest of the Des Moines traffic.
Can you take him?
Yep.
Justin, your tan barrel. Tell him where you want him.
You know, we've been walking these pigs for months, getting them prepared, getting them calmed down, slowed down so they don't get too excited about much.
People who come the first few days of the fair get to see the process and us putting those last details on. It takes a little of the pressure off and also serves as a little sneak peek for the fairgoers. The lights in the cooler are so bright that it's hard to see through the glass, and there's also a little bit of a glare. And people stand about 18 inches away because there's a railing.
You don't really see them or notice them, and the fans are so loud you can't really hear what's going on out there. Every once in a while we'll get people knocking on the glass. We're like, oh yeah, they're back there and they're watching us do this. And it's like,
I'll put up a sign, don't knock on the glass, it scares the sculptors.
Hannah and Grace love music, and so they'll be blaring like show tunes from their favorite musical. There's been a couple of times that they've forgotten that there's people out there, and they'll be doing that, and then like, oh. One of the things about the fair that I delight in is seeing how the next generation is infusing their energy. I see that in my own kids and what they bring.
Boston, how many ice cream cones are you gonna eat today?
6.
It's funny, a lot of these younger kids, you know, they probably don't get to be around this food all the time, so they really take advantage of being able to have free ice cream and French fries and pickle spears and all that stuff. So then they tell me their stomach hurts, and they're like, I wonder why.
We have a lot of part-timers. Our workforce is about 500 people, strong 500. Most of the stands take between 7 to 8 people to run. Some of them take 25 per stand. We go through 2 semi-loads of corn dogs, and basically it's about 60,000 pounds per trailer of corn dogs. And Iowa loves corn dogs. Lemonade, hundreds, I don't know, thousands and thousands of gallons. We go through about 250 canisters a day.
Have a good day.
We do have 2 locations that we sell homemade tenderloins. We dip it in buttermilk, cracker crumb it, and you put it on a sandwich, and you can't go wrong with a homemade tenderloin. And that's an Iowa thing. Pineapple whip, it's a big part of the Iowa State Fair. It's an older tradition. It was started back when they had dairy issues in World War II. They had to come up with a product that didn't have dairy in it. It's not just a Camel's corn dog, it's the location too. There are people who tell me the corn dog in front of my cattle barn right here, that's the only one they go to. Even though it can't be hardly any different than the one that I have on Grand Avenue, or the one up by Amanda Colonies or by the old mill. We keep just trying to figure out, do it better and better and better. The majority of people that come, they know Campbell's Concessions or Campbell's corn dogs for sure.
With the big boar, we'll leave at 5 o'clock, 4:30 in the morning, get up there early. It can be a little overwhelming at times.
I think the other hard part is people don't understand the capabilities of a big boar. He could really run you over.
Oh, there he goes.
As slow as Joe looks, when he wants to move, he runs. There's gonna be some anticipation. Are we gonna be the big guy this year? Are we gonna win?
You normally don't know how many boars are out there till you get there. We haven't weighed Joe to know where he's at. I mean, what do you do? He's only gonna be as big as he's gonna get. We've done everything in our power to give him all the tools to get bigger, so we'll just see what goes on.
Good afternoon. We're pleased to have all of you at the 2024 Iowa State Fair largest boar contest. For the first time in 3 or 4 years, we've got 7 entries, and they all showed up.
Last year, there was 2, us and one other one. And that scared me a lot, because thinking, oh, is it dying? Is nobody gonna be bringing boars up anymore? Is there a future for it? Will there be a big boar contest in 10 years? I don't know, I hope so.
He loves milk. Matter of fact, he drinks 5 gallons of milk a day. How would you like to buy that for him?
Pigs are raised differently now. You don't have to have a boar to breed your sows anymore. You can buy semen online. You know, it's a lot easier than keeping a boar around.
This entry is exhibited on the Clark.
To have a big boar is a pretty big accomplishment, and I just feel like there's just not a lot of people that are keeping their boars and maintaining them to be a bigger weight.
Our next entry is Big Joe, as you can probably tell from the t-shirts. He's from Muscatine County, exhibited by Jack Theobald family. He's a home-raised boar. He's been eating 20 pounds a day. His favorite food is 2 dozen marshmallows a day. He's very gentle, likes to run, loves soda pop in his feet. This is last year's reserve champion boar, and he weighs 940 pounds. 940. This entry is exhibited by Brian and Tricia Britt. They're from Monticello. He's a big eater. He has a big attitude. You know, you'll have to give us a little time here because most of these boars go where they want to. Stop, Britt! $1,420 pounds.
There was a lot more than last year, and I think they set a new record too.
I think we got 4th overall today, and we'll go home with Joe. He'll live out his life at our farm and eventually move on to higher grounds probably. We had fun. We made lots of memories. We had a great time. Yeah, you don't get these memories every day.
Hey, Scott. Hey, I just talked to Alan Brown. I've heard comments off and on about a continual problem we have here, of course, the odor in Animal Learning Center. Is there like exhaust fans in? Okay, I don't think they're on. My fair day starts a lot with meetings in the morning. As secretary to the board, there are daily meetings with the Iowa State Fair Board, keeping them apprised of what's happening on the grounds, as well as daily staff meetings with our senior leadership team, and then a lot of time out on the grounds. I feel really strong that the worst place I could be during the fair is in my office, and the best place I can be is out on the fairgrounds. All fairgoers really care about, when it comes right down to it, is it easy to park? Are the bathrooms clean? And are there places to sit? I mean, that's really... Obviously with the fair, if we don't get something right, the awesome thing is we can always fix it the next year. So we need to make sure we know what those things are. And so that involves me being out and really seeing those things and also interacting with fairgoers. If our job is to showcase Iowa agriculture, we shouldn't make it hard. You know, we shouldn't charge extra money for people then to see it. So. Iowans are passionate, sometimes weirdly passionate about the Iowa State Fair, but we want to make sure that their voices are heard as well. Hey, not a problem. Thanks. Thanks, Tim. In elementary school, there was a project you always have to do. What do you want to be when you grow up? It was in the fall, right after the Iowa State Fair, so of course somebody has to be in charge, right, or those types of things. So a letter was written from me as part of the school project to Marion Lucas, who was CEO of the fair at the time. He responded to that letter and did the whole interview, and then really he just opened the door for me to come sometime next year when you're at the fair, come see what I do. And so then spent time working here even through college. Loved my summer job so much that I needed to find a job so I could still keep my summer job, so I taught school for a while. And then left the education field, some time at the Missouri State Fair, 12 years at the world's greatest county fair, the Clay County Fair in Spencer, and then the opportunity to come back here kind of full circle. I feel like I really do have one of the best jobs in the state of Iowa, getting to lead the charge here at the Iowa State Fair. And so for me, it's a career, right? But more than that, it really is a passion. It's something that I get to do to make a positive impact on the people of our state, and that's something I don't take lightly, for sure.
Oh, there's Sarah.
Hey!
It's good to see you, Jeremy.
To see you too, yeah.
You know what? It's never too rainy for the fair.
There's this sense of belonging here. The fairgrounds, I think, is a sacred place in some ways. It becomes this place, you know, much larger than an event. We take that for granted here in Iowa because not every fair gets to experience what we do here, and that really is what makes the Iowa State Fair so special.
Go ahead. You are welcome.
The most exciting thing I think we do at the fair is we provide that showcase. This is a chance for you to show off your very, very best. Maybe it's a blue ribbon quilt, maybe it's a blue ribbon steer, maybe it's the Bill Riley Talent Show. Really, when you think about it, the fair is a celebration of all that is best about Iowa.
Since my job is walking around and making sure that everybody's okay, you know, in the stand world, Saturday I broke my own record of the most steps that I've taken. And Saturday I hit 40,000 steps walking around the fairgrounds. So that was a record for me. And let me tell you, that next day I felt it in my calves. Martin, how's it going? Doing all right? Pretty good. Selling a little lemonade today or corn dogs?
A little bit of both.
A little bit of both. All the family members here, you know, you start at the bottom and then you just work your way up because you have to know how to do everything, because if you don't know how to do everything, then you can't teach and, you know, show other kids, you know, what the right way is. And if you haven't done it, then it's hard for other people to learn from you. So this is an ice cream stand with all the ice cream girls. How's it going, girls? Machine's running all right? Yeah, got enough stock. Technically, I started when I was 14. I'm 25 now, so this will be like my 11th fair working. Well, holler at me if you need anything. I will be around. Been out here full time now for about 5 years. What I do is kind of HR, checking the kids in, you know, going around the stands, making sure that everybody is where they need to be and everybody is happy and no problems, you know, just a problem solver more or less. Come on, guys. How are we? Good. You doing all right? Need some sugar water? Yeah. Ben Baxter, are you making a sugar water run down Grand? This is my younger brother, Gage. So he's the manager of the stands out here on Grand. So he pretty much just walks in between them, make sure that they have their product, and, you know, if anybody's got questions, customer service, you know, that kind of stuff is his job. And, you know, just making sure everybody's happy and getting everything that they want, so.
It really takes the whole village. And our family world is a village to make it work. I couldn't do this without everybody else.
You need lemonade? Corn dog?
We don't want to lose what my grandfather, my mother, my father, you know, started, and we just try to build on top of that.
You need a corn dog, sir?
Now, is there times that we just want to give up and say, oh, geez, is it really worth working this hard and doing what we do? Well, we don't know any better.
Honestly, this is my favorite part of the job, is being able to cook. For some reason, actually, it is very therapeutic. Get in your zone and just cook and really not have to worry about a whole lot besides just making sure that you're getting fresh dogs out, tasting good. So, right here, sir. I could never see myself sitting behind a desk 9 to 5. Yeah, I wouldn't trade this for anything.
Thank you for coming to the fair. Ketchup and everything's down 15 steps that way.
Who's ready to sculpt some butter today? This is Sarah Pratt. She's our butter sculptress. She does a butter cow.
So at the Iowa State Fair, the very first butter cow was sculpted in 1911. It was sculpted by an artist named John Daniels. He sculpted here for just a few years, and then they recruited a man who was originally from the Midwest.
Hey, that's pretty cool.
His name was J.E. Wallace, and he had a different kind of training leading up to his butter sculpting career. He was a taxidermist. My mentor, Norma Duffy Lyon, her training was mixed with science, anatomy, and also sculpting. I got started because I really wanted to be a farm kid. My friend Carrie had dairy cows. She told me about how they could come to the Iowa State Fair And they even got to stay overnight in the barn with the cows at that time. I was 14 and we talked her parents into letting me also come and help in the barn, and I was so excited. I thought, this is the beginning. I'm gonna be a dairy farmer. Farm girl dream come true. But I knew nothing about taking care of dairy cows, so they just said, okay, help wash the cows. I used too much soap, made a huge mess. Okay, how about you just walk them to the milking parlor? The cow kind of caught my foot, and I stumbled one way, bumped into a stroller. That was it. So I was sent to the butter cooler to help Norma Duffy Lyon, who was my friend Carrie's great aunt. So that first year, I was completely unprepared. I didn't come to the fair to work in a 40-degree cooler or in butter. I did bring closed-toed shoes and long pants for working in the barn. Wrapped up as warm as I could, and Norma lent me a few sweatshirts. And we got in the cooler, I washed buckets, I handed butter, I softened butter, really anything she needed, which turned into eventually a 14-year apprenticeship.
That's good, yeah.
You all can tell your story of how you learned to be a butter sculptor, right? That is going to be your origin story. I came to the Blue Ribbon Kids Club event and I learned how to butter sculpt. Okay, this is what I do. But the problem is when you're trying to also go to the fair and you're trying to keep your clothes kind of clean, it can be messy.
We were trying to do a pickup truck and then it didn't work, so we made a snowman.
You know what? That is perfect. We recycle all of the butter, which is so important. We'll put your butter in buckets and we'll go into next year's butter cows. I love the fact that Norma's hands have touched the butter that we're still using. It's a really community of hands that have all worked this butter. At the end of the fair then, that all gets scraped off of the frames and armatures and packed into 5-gallon buckets and sent to Des Moines cold storage, where it's stored in a freezing locker for the entire winter and then back out to us the next July.
I have been going to the Iowa State Fair since I was little. I spent a lot of time showing out there. All the years I was eligible to show out there, I showed at the state fair. So it's really neat to be able to pass on to our children, to be able to go out there and for them to see that kind of stuff. We need to wash rack him?
Yep.
All year long, you worry about the future of agriculture. Well, yeah, I see Jack and see our other kids around us, kind of worry like, is there really a future? But then you go to fair and then you see the kids that are involved, and then it makes you a little bit more hopeful for the future, I guess. It's just kind of like a big family. Everybody knows everybody. Everybody takes care of everybody. Everybody's animals.
Remember, look at the judge. Take between judge and you.
And I think that's what the best part about the fair and showing is everybody that's there and how everybody works together.
Are you excited?
He's gonna run straight out of his bed.
Yours is? Oh yeah.
For the kids to get to go out there and experience that and get to stay for the show and see just how it works and see the amount of competition that goes on out there. What's your name? Drive him straight, Jack. And be able to actually be part of it and walk on those green chips and get the shirt that's 7 sizes too big for you when you're showing out there. It's just all part of the great experience that gets to go on.
I think we've got a couple pretty nice cows out here.
I think for us, because Jake and I have such a passion for agriculture, it's easy for us to pass this on to our kids.
Jump.
It's easy for us to be excited and to pass that excitement on to them because this is what gets us excited. This is what keeps us going every single day. How have you felt showing today? Were you nervous? Were you excited?
Yeah. Nervous.
Now, do you have higher expectations for next year, what you're going to do next year?
Yep, I'm going to get Maxwell pigs. And I'm going to have 4 pigs next year.
You think so?
And 2 goats, 0 lambs, and a cow. Get down.
We're very fortunate to be able to give the kids opportunities like this.
Oh my gosh.
And we don't have to do very much to get them excited about it because if they get excited about it, we just take it and we run with it, and we hopefully can fulfill their cup and give them a dream.
All right, tearing down the butter cow and all the sculptures, right?
Yep, all of them. All of them go back in the buckets.
Yeah, the saddest day, the end of the state fair.
But it's nice for me that you do it, so
Yeah, hey, I appreciate it.
I don't have to do it.
It's tradition.
One of the great things about the Iowa State Fair is it is about community and about family.
Sarah and I are first cousins.
This is my 18th year sculpting, so you're 17 years of teardown.
There you go.
Holy moly!
I think I'm a professional now.
Another ear fell off already. It's just tearing itself down this year.
Yeah.
How about that? If there's ever a time where it's like, oh, I just want to go to bed, or this is too hard, or I'm getting too old, or my elbows hurt. Being together, doing it together, is the thing that lifts me. I love being with my family.
Pretty soft.
That gets me through all of the achy joints and the long days. And it's just fun.
At this point in my life, I don't think I can see a future where I'm not participating in at least some form in this tradition. Getting a chance to be creative with lots of our family and collaborating with Grace and collaborating with Mom is just an amazing experience to have.
I think if any of us had to do butter sculpting on our own, it'd be really hard. I don't know what I'd be doing in the summer if it's not this.
It's almost like ingrained in our identities almost. It's just it's what we do.
It is kind of fun though. The first thing I wanted to be was Indiana Jones. That was my dream job. One of the folks at my high school was like, you can't make any money being an archaeologist, so just be a teacher instead. When Hannah was in middle school, she was asked to do a project about an Iowan, and she picked me. She asked me what I wanted to be, so I told her, well, originally I wanted to be an archaeologist. I wanted to be Indiana Jones. And she's like, well, Mom, he was a teacher, and then he'd go on these adventures, and you get to do the same thing. You get to be a teacher, and you get to have this really cool adventure in the summer where we get to travel to do butter sculptures other places, and we get to be part of this tradition here in our home state of Iowa. And we get to do it all together, and so it's even better than Indiana Jones because he was kind of a solo bachelor, right? That was all on his own, and I get to have my family too.
How do I get in the Iowa State Fair? How do I run a concession, and how do I make it profitable? You have to be organized, you have to have detail, and you have to have a vision. It doesn't matter what food you have. It doesn't matter. You put your effort and your energy into those three things. If you're not organized and detailed and have a vision on what exactly how you're gonna do it, it's probably not gonna work. We've had people here for 5, 6 generations come to the Iowa State Fair. They're here for a family tradition. We want to give them the best experience that they can possibly have. Make sure that the customers are treated right. If I wouldn't eat it, don't serve it.
How'd it go today? Good day? All right. Get home safe, all right?
Not very many people get to be in my situation. There's probably no concessionaire out there in the United States that has and does what we do today, what we've done in the past. There might be a couple, but not really. Nobody has a warehouse on the fairgrounds. Everybody has all the stands that we have.
All right, Miss Ella, you guys ready to be done?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Closing time.
It's closing time.
And we've perfected it down to a science. I don't know if I'll ever retire. I'll be here some aspect of it. They might not want me here. I don't know. We'll see.
Have a great night. Get home safe.
I've made my bed, and this is the bed I've chosen. And this is the only thing I know. I think that's the other thing. It's the only thing I know.
I hope when people think of the fair, they think of pride in our state, and all the accomplishments that are showcased here. I hope they think of the fair as a place that provides hope in the world. You know, there's a lot of negative things going on in the world, and I hope when they come to the fair, they just experience like kind of a renewed faith in humanity, for lack of better words. I think of the fair as being the showcase for our youth, and they look at the kids and say, you know, the world's gonna be a better place, and the fair has been the place where we let them shine.
Good class, give all those kids one big round of applause, please.
When you really dig under all of this, the ultimate tradition at the fair is that tradition of coming to the fair with your family. So as long as we keep that tradition alive, of making sure the Iowa State Fair is a place where all families of all ages, of all types are welcome, if we keep that in place, then all those other experiences just build on that. That's what we have to protect.
Since 1927, Kent Feeds has been dedicated to commercial producers, farming communities, and animal lovers. A family-owned American company, we strive every day to enrich the lives of those who raise and care for animals. Learn more at kentfeeds.com.